Hello and welcome to this walkthrough of Clinical Trial Risk Tool. What this tool does is it is able to process a clinical trial protocol, which is in PDF format, and extract key factors which contribute to the trial's risk. And risk in this case means the risk of the trial ending uninformatively. So you can find the tool itself at this URL. And if you would like to find some protocols to test it, I suggest you go to clinicaltrials.gov. You can go to the search box, and under condition or disease, you can type the name of a condition such as HIV, and you can then click advanced search instead of search. Scroll down on the next page, and you have the option to only retrieve trials which contain study protocols. So here I have checked the box study protocols. I then click search and a number of results come up. I can click on the first trial. This is the entry for this trial. And if I scroll down, I will find a link to the study protocol and statistical analysis plan, which is a PDF. These are the kind of documents which the clinical trial risk tool is designed to process, so I can click and download that. So what I will show you now is a demo of me processing a single protocol with this tool. So if I click and on the upload button, I can start to upload a PDF from my computer. So the PDF is being sent over the web, so it's going to the cloud processor. It may take a while depending on your internet connection speed. In my case, it generally takes about 20 seconds. So we can see the tool is saying, processing your protocol, please wait. When it has finished, it will show a flag, a risk level, and so the tool will categorize the clinical trial as high risk, low risk, or medium risk. So this is the risk of ending uninformatively. So we can see the trial has been categorized as low risk. We have a few bits of informative vital statistics. So we've got the file name, we've got the number of pages in the document, and we have an option to export a report of this analysis as PDF, which we will do at the end of the walkthrough. On the right, you have a word cloud generated from the document, which is showing key informative terms which were present in the document. If I move the mouse over any of these controls in the tool, then you have a helpful tooltip appearing at the bottom. So the tooltip is telling me that this is word cloud with some of the most important words. Words indicating the pathology are shown in red or pink. Now, if we want to know why was this trial rated low risk, then we can scroll down to the section here, explanation of analysis. So we have the option, we can move the mouse over any of these controls and see an explanation. So the tool has identified that this trial was an HIV trial. The tool has done this using AI, machine learning, and natural language processing. If we disagree with any of these decisions, we can actually click on the drop down and adjust it. So I agree that this is actually an HIV trial, and it is a phase 1 trial. A statistical analysis plan has been found. If you click on any of these, so by default, the explanation is set to condition. We have a graph panel here on the right. The graph panel is showing the location of keywords throughout the document. So for condition, we have key HIV-related words which have occurred in the document and which page they have occurred on. So you can see the term HIV has occurred throughout the document. There's a concentration of, for example, antibody a bit towards the last half of the document, HVTN, HPTN, so other HIV relevant terms have occurred throughout the document. So the presence and absence of these terms is what has led the tool to decide that this is an HIV trial. So if you disagree with this decision, then that's the explanation of how the decision was made. Likewise, under trial phase, I can click this little blue explain option, and I get an explanation for the phase. So phase 1 was mentioned throughout the document, and there was a single mention of phase 3, which looks like it might be in a reference because it was on page 142. Has the statistical analysis plan been completed? So the presence or absence of a statistical analysis plan is one of the most informative or the biggest contributors to the trial risk. So this trial fortunately does have an SAP, and if I click on explain here, I can see how the tool found it. And the tool has both shown the key terms. I can click this for a moment to hide the pink graph. So some of the words like efficacy, power, analysis, etc., statistical hypothesis are all present in a certain, clustered around a small section of the document, which looks like it's page 42 to 78. And this pink overlay of the bar chart is the probability that each page is in the statistical analysis plan. So you can see there is a huge amount of statistical content clustered in this narrow band in the document. So probably you would put money on the SAP being starting at page 42 and lasting for 35 pages, which sounds quite reasonable. So I'm happy with that. You can also always look in the PDF, and if you disagree with it, then you could switch it to no. Has the effect estimate been disclosed? Again, here I can click here, and I've not only got the same graph of key terms, I have excerpts from the document. So it says there is moderate power to detect effect size 3. So it sounds like that's what the authors have found, effect size 3. So you can actually find the number if the tool manages to extract it. Number of subjects has been identified as 1,900, which puts this trial in the top tertile, so it's a large trial. And the countries of investigation, I will just click explain there. The countries of investigation, there a single country has been identified, which is South Africa, although other countries were mentioned elsewhere, and we have those countries with their codes and their flags for you to recognize easily. Has the trial used simulation for sample size? It looks like it has. So if we want to understand how all these parameters contributed together to reach a low risk, what we can do is we can click here, risk calculation spreadsheet. And what we have is a spreadsheet showing ones and zeros and twos in the areas corresponding to these values. So imagine that I disagree with a simulation. I can set this to no. And we can see simulation has gone to 0 and the trial score has changed. We are now on score 70, although we are still on a low risk trial. If I click download to Excel, then what I get is a summary of exactly the same information in the format of an Excel spreadsheet. So we have simulation here set to 0. I can put it back to 1. And watch the score update. So the values update themselves. So if you want to track the risk assessments outside of this tool, you can export all your evaluations to Excel and store and edit them that way. And then you can experiment with hypotheticals. Imagine that the SAP was removed, etc., and look how the score changes. And you would also be able to adjust the weights very easily in the Excel. If you want to see the sample size tertiles which were used, then this is also configurable. So it defaults to these values where, for example, a phase 1 HIV trial is considered small if it has 40 or below 40 participants. It's considered medium if it has below 100, etc. Or rather, medium if it's below 130. And then for phase 2, we've got 100 to 300. So these, you can double click here and you can edit these values very easily. The information which was in the risk calculation spreadsheet and the graphs in the tool can also be exported as a PDF. So if I click here, export report to PDF, the tool will generate a PDF showing all information which is currently on the screen in a human readable PDF format. And so that's also another tool you can use for collaboration with colleagues. So if I click, that's now downloaded itself. We have a summary and analysis of the file name here. This is a low risk HIV trial. We have the word cloud and we have vital statistics, the page count, pathology, phase, SAP, etc. And look, things that I adjusted. So trial uses simulation for sample size. You remember that I adjusted that manually. So the AI found the value yes, and I changed that to no. So values found by the AI are in this column. Values adjusted by the user are here. And when the AI gave a confidence in of its decision in a percentage, that's also available here in this column. Risk calculation spreadsheet. So all the formulae for the spreadsheet, which I showed earlier, are included here. And then the sample size tertiles, a log of the analysis, and also key graphs which were present in the UI. So all information is there, including the excerpts, for example, the effect estimate. all that information is there, so your analysis can be saved and shared with colleagues. So that concludes the walkthrough of the clinical trial risk tool. My name is Thomas Wood. If you would like to provide me with any feedback or contact me, you can reach me at fastdatascience.com. Thank you very much, and good luck using the tool.